Thank you very much for watching the Logic's Lord channel. I'm Nasir Khan, and in this video, I'm going to do a movie review of the Hollywood movie Thor Ragnarok. This review will have spoilers at the end. I will give you a warning before the spoiler section starts. So if you haven't watched the movie, only watch it up till the spoiler section. So Thor Ragnarok is the third movie in the Thor series. You can tell that much from the trailer that it's about Thor putting a team together to go defeat Hela, who is the goddess of death. You would be wondering, he already had a team. What happened to that? He actually had multiple teams. One was the Avengers, and the other one was the team that he used to have for the Thor movies. In order to find that out, you have to watch the movie. Of course, the first Thor movie had the classic scene where, after Thor has beaten up like 50 SHIELD agents, the director actually asks him whether he has come from Pakistan. And I was watching that in the theater. I just started laughing out loud when that scene happened. Everyone turned around to see what was wrong with me, because I was the only one apparently in the theater who found that to be funny. This movie is different from the first two Thor movies. It's also a little bit different from Thor's persona in the Avengers movies. How is it different? Well, number one, he has a different hairstyle, and he also has a different costume. This movie is probably the funniest Marvel movie that I have seen so far. I was laughing throughout the movie. A majority of the movie is on the planet Sakaar, and the feel of that whole planet is very Fifth Element, from the costumes to the music to everything about it is very, very Fifth Element. And of course, the emphasis is not on the hammer. The emphasis is more on the God of Thunder aspect of Thor. This was the intention of the director and the producer. Chris Hemsworth himself had actually gotten bored of playing Thor in the same manner over and over again. He had done that for I don't know how many movies, if you count the Thor and Avengers movies. And they wanted to change something. And, they came back with the idea that this movie is just going to be fun. It's not going to be like a dark superhero film like the first two Thor movies. This one was essentially going to be an action comedy with more emphasis on comedy than on action. The hammer has a short life in the film, maybe about 15 minutes, but for those 15 minutes, it has a very, very good life. It has, in fact, for the first 15 minutes, the only thing that I noticed about the film were how cool the hammer scenes are. They were doing that for a reason. The pacing of the film is quite remarkable. There is no dull moment in the movie. The introduction of the character, the switching from one scene to the other, everything is done in a very, very good manner that it just keeps you interested for the 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is the duration of the film. Especially, this is done very well for the Bruce Banner and Hulk characters. He's Hulk for a while, then becomes Bruce Banner, then becomes Hulk again, and the amount of screen time given to both of them is just right. Cate Blanchett is excellent as Hela, the main villain in the movie. She manages to pull off the character as a poised, as a regal, as a formidable character all at the same time. Her character is also written very well. It has a lot of depth. She's not just out there because she's evil. There is a backstory to it which is very well explained. The character Korg is introduced in the film. He is by far the most memorable character, most enjoyable character to watch as well, again for his comic aspects rather than for anything else. I couldn't understand why he has a South African accent. He just constantly reminded me of the South African cricketer Pat SYMCOX. He started looking a little bit like him with that accent. Tom Hiddleston's there again as Loki. He's not as memorable a character in this one as he was probably in the first two, but I guess that Tom Hiddleston needed to do something to erase the memory of Kong Skull Island. Jeff Goldblum is perfectly cast as the Grandmaster. Jeff Goldblum has the most unique style of comedy. Sometimes you're laughing at what he's saying, sometimes you're just laughing at his facial expression, sometimes you're laughing at the manner in which he's saying something, but nobody else can replicate that. I thought they needed exactly that sort of an actor for the Grandmaster character, and it would not have been the same. I think even the movie might not have been the same if some other actor except for Jeff Goldblum had actually played the Grandmaster character. Karl Urban plays Scourge. I could not recognize him until maybe half the movie had actually gone by. He's shaved his head, he has gotten into the character. He's very, very different from the Leonard McCoy character that he plays in the Star Trek movies. He might have been a big fanboy of the Thor comics, because otherwise the role is not that memorable. He doesn't have that much screen time either. But if you're a fanboy, then you will take any role to actually be part of the film. It felt a lot like this was written for just the fans of the original Thor movies, and also to some extent fans of the Avengers movies, rather than trying to build new fans, because a lot of the jokes were essentially about things that had happened in the previous movies. And a lot of them had to do with the way the characters had been portrayed in the past in other films. So they wanted the movie to be fun. They wanted the movie to be to bring people joy. I think they did that. I think the movie overall does that. I think it does that more as a comedy than it does so for action. I think the action in the movie is okay. You would categorize that as average or fine. The comedy, however, is excellent. Even the scene that was the basic promotion of the movie, which is the gladiatorial fight between Hulk and Thor, I thought that scene was okay. If you watch this movie more like a comedy, then the action, as long as it's not bad, you're okay with it. But my expectation was that even the action in the film would be something special, something more than my expectation, as the previous Thor and Avengers movies had been. What I found to be quite striking was the fact that majority of the principal cast actually was not from the US. They were, for some reason, from cricket-playing countries: New Zealand, Australia, England, Wales. So my ranking of the movie is 3 out of 5. It's a good film. You'll have fun when you watch it. Majority of the reasons why I cannot give it 4 or 5, I'll discuss in the spoiler section. So if you haven't watched the movie, you'll have to wait until you watch it. So the suck out part is a lot of fun, but when they actually get to Asgard in the end, maybe the last half hour, I found that to be very ordinary and very predictable. And predictable, okay, so you always have some level of predictability, because you know that the superheroes are going to win in the end. But just the manner in which they would go about doing it, here, even that was very predictable. In fact, Odin's dialogue with Thor, that one was also very predictable. Hulk's entry to fight the dog is also very predictable. Also, the action in the end is not very wow-oriented. It's, it's a little flat. Not something that you would actually remember. What you remember are the jokes. The Hela character too was written very well, built up very, very well, and she had performed it very well. I think it needed an ending to match the build-up, and that did not happen. It looked a little bit like a cop-out in the end as well, the way they defeated her. But I think that they could have done a lot more with the final battle with that boss character. Alright, so that was my movie review of Thor Ragnarok. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. And until next time, thank you very much and have a nice day.